Alrighty, where are you? There we go. Nice. Kinda wish they had higher tier AI tanks. Like, not just, I'm not talking about, well, yeah, jumbos, but not T-54s. More like T-62s, that sort of thing. Ooh. Is that a player? That's an AI. Lol. Can't kill the crew, but the fuel tank ate everything. Oh! Blue Moon! Why did you get me again? Why do you gotta ruin the fun? I'll ruin your fun. Let's go up! Haha, very honorable. Wait, what's this T-54 doing here? Don't mind me, comrade. I'm just playing with my machine gun. There's a plane. Alright, alright. Guten Tag, Leute. Sauber hier und willkommen zurück auf dem Kanal. Howdy, folks. Sauber here. Welcome back to the channel. We're not looking at the M1A1 or M1E1, unfortunately, but we'll talk about that a little later. We are looking at the Leopard 2A4, the tank that serves beer without a spill. And looking at its armor, it's actually really decent. 360 and 600 against kinetic and chemical on the right side, and 390 and 650 on the left. And then on the hull, 360 and 600, 200 and 260 on the bottom hull, the lower plate. 180, 205 on the sides. This is actually a decent protection. It's not the best, but it can sure compete with the Abrams, that's for sure. And of course, with its good old 120mm smoothbore cannon. And wait, is that another layer of armor? Huh? So, is it essentially doubled? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Nah, that's a good question. I don't know. But anyway, that really caught me off guard. I did not see that the first time I looked at this tank. But this thing I'm quite excited for it. I'm a huge fan of the Leopard tanks. And oh yeah, it has the same ammo as the Leopard 2K, but let's look at Japan. The Blue Leopard 2, if you might have seen that comic. I'm kidding. The Type 90. Excuse me. But it has similar armor, but it has no composite on the side turret like the Leopard 2A4. It has an autoloader, 5-second reload, but this is why I brought it up. Why? 540 millimeters of penetration? Every 5 seconds? Why can't the Leopard get that too? Now, of course, I understand, and you should understand, that things on the dev server are subject to change. Maybe it'll get removed. Maybe it'll, from the Type 90, I mean. Maybe it'll get added to the Leopard 2A4. I don't know. But just by looking at that, kind of makes you wonder what else is to come. So, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and head into some realistic battles and see how this thing performs. Okay. I gotta show y'all this really quick. When I was messing around in the decal section, trust me, you guys are gonna flip over this and just scream to the heavens, "Thank you, Guy Jiggles." Guy Jiggles. Guyjilla, the mighty snail of War Thunder. Because you know how for a long time, and this applies to both tankers and pilots, You try to make the shark mouth or other similar decals, and it looks like... it looks like it got thrown in a washing machine and got thrown all over the place. Well, there's a new decal feature. You press the T key 3 times and, drumroll please, voila! You finally can make the decals look proper. Alright, let's get back into the Leopard 2A4. So, welcome to Italy. I have to admit, I have been anticipating an Italian map for a while. And one of the things I like about this map is that it's truly a maze. I mean, you have Maginot Line, assuming I'm saying that right, where it has that little town in the western part of the map. But the thing is, that's not mainly the epicenter of the battle. I mean, you might have the Charlie cap point there, but other than that, you don't have to go there if you don't want to. On this map, by my early observations, this might be a map where your fighting is constantly in the city. I mean, there are other city maps, well, semi-city maps, like Poland, Eastern Europe, or one of my personal favorites, Advance to the Rhine. But what sets this apart from most of the other maps is that, unlike the other maps, like in particular Poland, where you could imagine, oh, the battle already started a lot earlier, so a lot of the buildings are already destroyed. You get to this Italian map, and it's like war has just started. Nothing is touched until you run over everything. Buildings are still intact. Oh, this poor M1. Oh, this was so mean. And what you're about to see here, deviating a little, is something rather painful. I mean, I know this can happen, but still. I'm focusing on these guys, and I thought it was a player at first, then I, to my sheer embarrassment, realized it was a stupid AI. Feels bad, man. But that's why, especially on the dev server, you use backup vehicles. And this especially came in handy, because it allowed me to go again and explore this map a little further. Now, I didn't get to explore all of it. I forgot to explore it from the air. But I will admit this was a little rushed, because it was late at night when I was playing this, and I had an appointment the next day, which, ironically, that did not happen, because I ended up getting sick. In fact, as I'm narrating this, my stomach is just killing me right now. But voice-wise, I'm fine, thankfully. Anyhow, where was I? Oh yeah, going back to the environment on this Italian map. The buildings are still intact, the structures are intact. Seats, the road, the street lights, well not, yeah, the street lights, even the statues. It's like you could like jump in a car, like like the 4M Gauze minus the machine guns on it, and you could just drive around here thinking, ah, I'm on vacation. Step away from the battlefield and come to Italy and have some lasagna and pizza and have a jolly great time. That sort of thing. Until the tanks come rolling in and it's like, okay, I'll have that order to go, please. I got a battle to fight. But seriously, this is a beautiful map. I will admit, though, I'm going to be a little terrified when I fight this in a real battle, because there could be an enemy at any turn. And I'm going to have to familiarize myself with the different bends and streets on this map. Because at least on Poland and Eastern Europe, they've been around for a long time, and you have some good hiding points and places to lie down. Like on one of the main streets on Rhineland, on the far east part of the map, where you could just sit there and wait for the enemy tanks to come. That's a balanced area, because you can access it from both the north and southern spawns. You capture Bravo or Charlie, and then you go to that little main street, wait for the enemies to come, and try to hold down that street. If you need to exit, there's a nice little exit road on the very middle part of the map. Well, there's actually two. One for the north, one for the... well, actually two for the south. The reason I say two for the south is because the one that's used for the north can also be used by the south. And then on Poland, you kind of have two main streets. You have one on the second most northern part of the road, and the second most... the main road that's by the church. The one by the church is especially desirable for both sides because you can get in a tank destroyer or other strong tank, hold the fort there, and just wait for someone to just carelessly drive sideways, and then you get them. But as for this map on Italy, it'll be interesting to see how it'll perform in a real battle. Now, let's focus a little more on the Leopard 2A4, the tank that serves beer without leaving a spill. I will admit, when I saw Fly's video with that historical video of the Leopard 2A4 carrying the beer, when I first saw that, not on Fly's video, but in general, I was like, oh my god, because when I first saw that video, they had just added the Leopard Leopard A1A1, and I was thinking, that'd be so sweet if we could get that in War Thunder one day. This is back when people were crying foul at the idea of the Abrams or Leopard 2, or even the T-64 being added, saying like, oh, that would be overpowered. Their data is still classified. And I tell you, or not, I tell you, 2 years later, I tell you, look at what we have now. We have the M1, XM1, Leopard 2, T-64, 2M. To deviate a little, for some reason his MGs were firing, but you couldn't see them, like the muzzle flash. That must have been a bug, I assumed. But anyway, going back to the Leopard 2A4, it is really fun. I mean, it's not as fast as the Leopard 2K, obviously, because the Leopard 2K is much lighter than the A4. But it is a beautiful machine. I mean, this was like the premier West German tank towards the end of the Cold War. Like right before the Berlin Wall came down. So this is an awesome machine. And I had a great time playing it on the dev server. There was a little bit of an incident where, for some reason, it used the how could I put it? The account details that I had from the last dev server. So when I first got this, I had logged out, logged back in because I had stuff to do, bombs. And when I came back, I didn't have my Leopard 2A4. And I was like, really? So I played a couple games in the Leopard 2K, used a booster, and I was able to get this thing back. So, no harm done there, still got to have some fun. Those bombs, oh. And one of the most notable things I've noticed about the A4 is that this is the closest thing at the moment that we have to the original Leopard 2A5 from the April Fool's Day, or excuse me, April test of 2017. We're at the Leopard 2A5 against the T90A? T90 or T90A, I can't remember. But in terms of visuals, I don't know exactly about armor values or internal components that don't make too much of a difference in War Thunder. And when I say that, I mean like night vision, IR sights, because we don't have those in War Thunder yet. We might get them in the future, particularly for night battles, but we'll just have to wait and see. And anyway, in terms of visuals, the Leopard 2A4 just lacks the... I forget what those are called. I guess the heat fins on the A5, they kind of look like add-on armor to the front. Yeah. So just take those off, just add those on, and it looks like you have an A5. So, could we receive the A5 in the future? Anything's possible, really. Now, don't quote me on this, this is just my personal guess. I could be wrong about this. But, given that some of these tanks, like the Leopard 2A4, are still in use today by like Austria, Turkey, and other nations. I kind of can't help but wonder if these armor values are mere estimates, which you can't blame them, really. I mean, even in, I don't know, like, could they be estimates by their official sources? Like, maybe they don't know it exactly? I don't know. I'm not familiar in this late age of tanks. It's mostly World War II, Korea, and Vietnam that I strive in. But nonetheless, it is awesome to see these more and more of these modern machines in game. So now let's touch a little bit on the M1A1 or M1E1. You noticed it. I noticed it. It's not in the game at the moment. It wasn't even in the patch logs. But bear in mind, excuse me, Raph, I didn't know it was your kill. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, it wasn't in the patch logs. But bear in mind, everything in the patch logs and on the dev server are subject to change. I mean, I recall in one of Fly's old videos, it was when the 109E7 was added, along with the E4. He had access to the E7, but not the E4. For various reasons, which were unknown to me, the E4 was not available on the first dev server. And I don't recall if it was on the second dev or not. Because usually there's 2 dev servers, but sometimes there's 1 only. So having said that, I didn't see the T80 either, whatever model that might have been. And I'm sorry, deviate just one more time. These 2 Panthers, they're having a conversation and they're blocking me and this other Leopard from crossing. Get out of our way! Take it in the waiting room, not in the street. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, so could we still receive the M1A1 and the T80 in the next patch? It's possible. Nothing's impossible. I mean, you go back to the M1's dev blog back in February, and they basically said, we are going to add an M1 with a 120mm in the future. And for the T80, it was in... Ugh, that ATGM noise is spooky. The T80 was mentioned, I believe, on a Russian stream, where this Russian streamer was talking with BVVD. Forget, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I don't want to get it wrong. They talked about a number of tanks. They confirmed the T62M, and they confirmed a T80 model. Keyword a T80. Why do I say a T80? Because we don't know, and they didn't say what model of the T80. Could it be the original T80, the T80B, or increasingly less likely, the T80U? If they add the T80, I am now, with the introduction of this A4 and its armor values and the know-how, I'm fairly certain it's probably going to be a T80B at best. Because like I've said in the past, original T80 would be a downgrade from the T80B. So we'll just have to wait and see when the game is, when the patch is fully released, in addition to maybe another dev server, to find out if they'll be added or not. The last thing I want to talk about is the XM1. I looked at it in the hangar and it doesn't have the best armor protection. It's literally comparable to the MBT-70, but its mainstay is the gun. Being a premium vehicle, it is able to skip the now, I don't know if this is a bug, but the APFSDS, the M728, now only pens 268mm at 10 meters, as opposed to the 303mm in 1.77 and on the Leopard 1s. I'm kind of hoping that's a bug, because that's pretty serious downgrade. but we'll just have to wait and see. The XM1 being a premium can just skip to the M735 APFSDS shell found as a stock shell on the M1 Abrams. So I'm pretty sure it's going to perform well given its vast numbers, but my concern is that people are going to be buying that like hotcakes. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to buy it or anything. My concern is that there are going to be these new players both for Xbox or Xbone. I don't know why Fly calls it Xbone, but I'll just call it Xbox. And on other platforms, they're going to just buy these both XM1 models like hotcakes, but my concern is that a majority, maybe half of those players that are going to be buying it are going to be inexperienced. Like, register the game day one and then buy that, and they're going to play it. It's like, oh, this is too hard, and they don't contribute well to their team. But we'll just have to wait and see. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I had a great time with the Leopard 2A4. I cannot wait for 1.79. I will see you in the next video. Until next time, have a great day. Peace out.